Welcome to another episode of In the Bonus Podcast. We hope you guys are having a great week so far. So fellas, how's your week been so far?
My week went well, man. I ain't been doing nothing crazy. I just got back from hanging out with y'all boys doing the mukbang or however you guys call it. That's pretty fun. That's about it for me though.
Yeah, y'all was getting y'all muck on. I hear you.
Mukbang. It was cool, bro. We got it in. We ate Wingstop.
Yeah,
we have more ranch than wings.
Y'all still using that ranch, man?
Well, no, first off, hold up. Cool. Bro, you had a chili dog, a barbecue plate, and hush puppies. Why'd you need ranch?
I had fries too, first off. Don't try to leave out the one thing that meant the most.
We had like 12. Yeah, we had like 12 things of ranch from Wingstop. Yeah,
it was the big cups too.
It was like that. But if you eat cookout, I don't know. That's just the South, right? But if you eat cookout, don't get hot dogs. They trash, and the chili is trash. So don't order those.
But you should know, and I didn't even realize that cookout hot dogs is $1. That's
they cheap.
Why? They $1. You can get you a hot dog, 99 cents, whatever
you can probably go to Sonic and get a better hot dog.
Yeah, they
Sonic
got
trying to give you the long coney.
Yeah, they glizzy.
Somebody be getting that foot long.
Go big, go home, man.
Okay,
bro. Sonic is fire though. Y'all like the ice cream from Sonic or the slush, the fruit joints?
I get the
like
slush.
The slushy John, bro. But you know who put me on that, John, though? Cool. I didn't know about like it's a certain time that you go there and get it for a discount.
Oh, you know, happy hour.
Happy hour, bro.
No, but you put me on that like when we was in like probably 11th, 12th grade or something like that.
Bro, happy hour is it, bro. And they actually got 2 times. So happy hours is from 2 to 5. But I think it's like if you go before 10 o'clock or something. I mean, I guess it's weird to get a slush in the morning. But like if you go before a certain time in the morning too, you can do it.
I feel like
when I got older. Oh my fault, go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, bro, you can get a slush whenever, bro. In the morning, that's even better, bro. Get like a slush with your breakfast sandwich or something. Come on now.
Imagine if they put like some Red Bull in there or something.
They do got one like that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh,
bro. When I got older, I realized people put liquor in their junk. They put like vodka or something like that.
Yeah.
I ain't that.
Even though, listen, this is fire. I haven't done this in forever, but getting the green apple slush and putting some the crown apple in there, fire. Fire, bro.
I mean,
you say what?
He drunk
You
prior
don't even
to
drink.
Not anymore, no.
Hey, matter of fact, shout out to Shirai Fenner, homeboy from back home.
Skates.
My man stayed giving us the free slush coupons. The surveys.
Coupons. He just gave me free slushes, bro. Just bring them on out, Shirai, bro. I don't want to fill out nothing.
Now, sometimes you got to do a survey, man, to keep my man rolling.
That's right.
That's true.
But he got a podcast too. Called Event, so y'all check that out as well.
Shout out to the Vent and Sherrod.
But ain't it crazy? Because since then, I haven't seen people really skate like that.
I don't think they skate no more. I don't think. Well, I don't know if it was a requirement before. We might have to ask him, yo, Sherrod, if you listening, drop it in the comments, bro. Like, it's like none of the Sonics like skate no more. But before, I don't know if it was a requirement, but like I know you like most of the time you would look stupid if you was just walking your joint out.
Yeah, you look like you.
And think about that though, but that's weird that because in most restaurants you supposed to have like non-slip shoes, right? But they just be skating in and out. Cause the kitchen right there is Sonic. So like, bro, what was the rules on that with the health department and stuff, bro?
That's probably why they got rid of the. It's more like it's probably more like an OSHA thing. They probably got too many people hurting themselves on skates. To be honest with you.
It don't take nothing. If you fall over and try to catch yourself, you can break your arm, bro.
Right.
But you fall into somebody's car, like you just slip. Because I had a lot of people run up on the door like, "Hey."
People, I'd be mad. But get off my car, bro. What you touching on my whip for? If I fail, that'll be the day I quit. Like I couldn't even do it no more. I check out whatever time in my shift. If I fail,
like everything that you had in your hand.
Everything, all the food, bro. That's the day I quit.
I wonder if they charge you for food you drop.
They can't, bro. They shouldn't. That'd be wrong.
And they still don't got a Sonic in Durham. I don't understand it.
Do they now got a Sonic in Durham?
No, bro. Think about it. Think about it right now, bro. There's no Sonic in Durham.
There isn't.
Never has been.
That's weird.
Never.
It is.
And they got it in like small towns, even like out like
Nightdale.
They got one in Creedmoor.
Bruh. Exactly. There's none in Durham, bruh.
I thought about Nick when he called us this weekend. I was, we should open one up.
Hey man, it would be a good if we could afford it. I bet you it'd be a good entrepreneurial venture. But me and Trey think there's some conspiracy why Durham don't got a Sonic. It can't just be ain't nobody thought of it.
Maybe Jimmy's Hot Dogs doesn't want them to come to town.
I heard like the CEO of Sonic.
That's what his
You know
ex-wife
what I'm saying?
lived with something.
I ain't done no research, but like, you know, for all we know, they went to Jordan or Riverside or something, got picked on. They like, I'll never go back to Durham. Ever.
What?
Ever.
Yeah, no, I honestly think what this area needs, if I wonder how you can get into it, like if we can get like a finder's fee, they need to open an amusement park in North Carolina, like on Eastern North Carolina somewhere, bro. They could make millions. Cause like, so this weekend it was my oldest son's birthday. He turned 7. Well, today is his birthday, but we were celebrating over the weekend. And we went to Frankie's Fun Park and it was packed, people out the door, like waiting in the line to get in because it was like over capacity. And you know, because of COVID. Before it wouldn't have been an issue, but now it was. And then we went to try to go to this place called Up Air Trampoline Park. That was slammed, packed full. They only were accepting certain walk-ins. It's like, bro, an amusement park would be crazy. Like I know, like so many people are at home. They're looking for some type of entertainment. You imagine when like Carowinds and Kings Dominion, like what type of numbers they'll be doing. Like, yeah, it'll be limited, but they could like project what their sales are. I don't know. It could be more controlled. Everybody trying to get out of the house.
That's going to be tough though, because even like Disney had a time when COVID hit, as far as like staying open and stuff. Like they was in a rush to open back up. So I don't even know how like Carowinds is the only one in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, and that's all the way out in the West.
Isn't that like a Busch Gardens or something like that
in North Carolina?
No,
it was like a Six Flags. Like
it's a Kings Dominion in
Virginia. Kings Dominion in Virginia. That's still 3 hours from here.
That's what it is.
3 or 4 hours. That's like closer to what? Richmond.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I go past it every time I come home.
There was a time I actually did research, and I was like, I looked to see how much, like, you could profit $33 million from a theme park, and you would need a certain amount of acreage. Like, if you had like 100 acres, you could have a theme park. I think that's
something you can't just say casual though.
Well, here's why I said
100 acres.
Listen, so my idea was like, what if I could go to like farm owners who have like this land that's just sitting idle or fallow or whatever, and just be like, hey, look, we could go to Paramount or whoever and say, hey, man, y'all want to build a park here? We'll let you use this land. Y'all could buy this portion. I get like a finder's fee. I just want a humble 5%.
Oh, that ain't enough for me.
To ask the farmers?
Yeah, like a finder's fee, like whatever they get off of that, I get 5%.
So would you be mad if after you asked, they was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea.
And then they went and did it?
And it goes up, yeah.
I'd be teed off, boy. I'd be hot.
But no, I don't even think they'd be down for that, bro. Because by the time, like, if you think about it, say the amusement park opened up, bro. By the time, especially if it did well, think about the developments that they'll probably just want to extend. Like, we want to buy your farm for a parking lot. Like, so I'd rather plant some BS.
Well, you know, the government already pays them subsidies not to grow stuff, and something
when it's not in season.
No, like just because there might be a surplus, like maybe they're growing something, they'd be like, we don't, all right, we want you to grow this, or we want you to grow this because we need this more than anything. So then they'll give them like a government kickback. But I'm like, shoot, you might as well, like, I don't know, like during COVID, farmers took a big hit too, like a real big hit. So I don't know. I think it would just be a really good idea, especially for Eastern North Carolina, because there's literally nothing out there. Just to be honest, there's nothing.
Yeah, Emerald Point,
Where?
Greensboro.
Not that's Greensboro. I'm talking about east, like Rocky
I
Mount,
mean, North Carolina,
Nashville.
but it ain't that big. It's just like any other state. It
But
give
no,
people a chance to travel. Don't
so I
nobody
th-
want to go across the street to King's Dominion. I want to get out, get away.
yeah, but some people they wanna be able to go and have fun, but stay within the restrictions of travel. Like they only want to go like 2 hours. Because I was like, bro, if they open that up, you know how many jobs that would open? It would have teenagers something to do. Like
It's
it
a lot
probably,
of historical land out east though,
Very
especially
lucrative.
like going towards the coast too, like with
man.
all the lighthouses, the beaches, even like as far as Rocky Mountain, like all them historical districts, like in them little towns and stuff. It's just I'm sure they're untouchable. Like you can't just go in there and break down stuff.
You know where I would put it? I would put it right there in Nashville. I would. I would put right because there's
Out
like,
in Spring Hope.
bruh, somewhere where there's just like acres upon acres of open land and they ain't doing nothing. And like I've seen it years upon years and it's not doing anything. Just turn that into something, develop it into something. Build up the East. It's like they're doing the
Nah,
Piedmont.
look, I give it like 3 years. Yo, you put it in Nashville, y'all know all the kids from Rocky Mount will be going just to walk around the theme park. Don't even ride nothing. Just go walk around, see who they
Yeah,
see.
you right.
If they see somebody.
It's gonna be the Triangle
Don't buy
Town
nothing.
Center. It's gonna be Golden East
Bruh.
Crossing. Go.
That's what I was about to say. Like as many people, I wish we could get like percentages on it, how well them businesses did. Like in contrast to the amount of traffic that was there every weekend of people just not buying nothing, just walking around.
Well, it's halfway between New York. Rocky Mountain is halfway between New York and Jacksonville, Florida. So,
Mhm.
it would be a good stop. It would be a road trip. Like people just pass through Rocky Mountain. Don't nobody stop to do nothing. And I feel like it would
Smart.
it would generate money for the area and it would help build it up. So, hey, I don't know. I don't spilled the beans now. So,
Yeah.
somebody might-
Cool. You
I
used to always talk about opening up a theme park, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Bro, I think it's hard because black people just like we talk about land ownership, we just don't own a lot. And so I feel like that leverage is just against us, you know. Like even in other industries like the movie industry, you think about like Ice Cube and Warner Brothers going at it, right? Have y'all heard about that story?
Oh yeah, about the Friday. They won't let
Yeah,
him.
well,
Well, they won't let him make it. That's about as much as I know is that they just won't let him make it. But I
right,
don't
right.
know why.
So I don't know the whole story about why, but from the gist of what I heard is that they won't make it, right? He's pushing to make. He had started on it previously, I think, before Pops even died, but now they've decided not to make it. Do y'all know any more details on why?
That's about all that I know as well. But just the fact that I mean, it's his baby. Like that's his project. I mean, of course he had people backing, but it's his project and he can't even put a product out. That's
Right.
sad. That's why ownership is so important.
It is, and it kind of makes me think of it's kind of debatable though, and this is because you think about rappers who first get in the game, right, and they get these horrible deals, and it's kind of like I'm kind of torn in between because you have some rappers who get bad deals and they're taken advantage of, right? But then on the other side of the spectrum, is there such thing as a bad deal if it makes you famous, right? And if you never got that deal, would you even have the leverage, to even expand your career and make more money in the future? I know. I think what's my boy name? Romeo Daddy.
A masterpiece.
Master P.
Master P. So I don't really
Percy
know
Millet.
his story well, but I hear like he kind of changed the game when it came to how rappers looked at contracts in general.
Mhm.
Yeah. He did. He most definitely did. He
So
went. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I know. He paid like 10,000 just to talk to Michael Jackson's lawyer to figure out how to like get the best deal he can get. And I don't remember exactly what he did, but he got like one of the most prominent contracts in hip hop history. Well, at that time. So yeah. He pretty much has ownership of all his stuff at this point in time. Unlike a lot of rappers these days.
Yeah. And it's sad. You look at rappers, we talked about Ice Cube, Dave Chappelle was real big in the media. It's unfortunate, and you really don't know the level. You know, you never know. I guess they do a better job than we can in seeing the potential, right? Because if somebody come up to us right now and say, look, we want to give y'all $5 million to host this podcast on this network, we probably wouldn't think twice about it.
What time to come on?
You know what I'm saying? But like, for all we know, it could be worth $1 billion in 5 years, and we still get $5 million.
Yeah.
And so, do you guys now? Do you think that, you know, because the entity puts in the marketing and actually makes it big, is that fair, or how do you guys look at just these deals in general in all industries?
I feel like it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you don't have the expenses starting out. So you got to go to the studio or whoever, the corporation, to get going. But it sucks, because then you feel like, okay, they're taking away my creative process. You know, they're taking away, you know, my ownership in that sense, to be able to create, you know, however I want to create. So it's messed up. Like Friday, when he first started Friday, he took it out of his own pocket. And then I think from after that, he got partnered up with the studios. But now telling him that he can't make it, when we all know it's what the people want, no matter what, people are going to see it. I think it is messed up.
So I know there are a few entrepreneurs out there who have kind of stepped out on faith. I know Kev on Stage has been a big one. He started an app, a digital app. Do you guys think in general that entrepreneurs get enough support from the Black community?
I don't.
Not at all. I feel like we kind of discussed this before. Like a lot of times you see like Black people, they might try to support you, but a lot of times they're quick to be like, can I get a discount? Because you my homie or something like that. I don't feel like that's support. Like you wouldn't go to Ralph Lauren and be like, hey, can I get a discount? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't do that. But just because he's your same complexion or you feel like you know him, you'll be like, let me get a discount. Like I wouldn't go to Nick and be like, let me get a hoodie for a discount. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not right. Like I want you to make your money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I don't know why we don't support each other as much as we support. I'm not gonna say the next as much as we support the next person. I don't know why we do that. It's sad though.
I'm not gonna say this is the main problem. I believe it's a big issue though. I feel like certain like name brands and everything are like deeply rooted, you know, into people's like what they want and what they go for. And I feel like that plus a ego pride thing, you know. Oh, I see all the big names wearing this, you know, I see them wearing that. And they don't care about nothing else because they care about things that what people are known are subjected to, as far as like celebrities and stuff. Like who in the world is gonna choose that? No one ever seen J. Cole wear my homeboy's sweatshirts. Like no one ever seen, you know, in that aspect. And I feel like that is why. Like if so, say if your friends stuff supposed to like get big or whatever, they would then be like, oh, you getting a little buzz now? Like I'm gonna support you. When in all reality, they should have been supporting them from the jump. I mean, that's just my look on it.
I mean,
Just because they start from the ground up, like it's like, oh well, you're not really doing nothing. Nah.
I think I think when it comes to Black people, I think celebrity definitely plays a major part. These people we're seeing all the time that we have like this certain regard for, because we do see them everywhere and doing this, that, and the third. So we are endeared to them when they make a product. But the person who's starting out, we don't show them that same type of patronage. I don't know why, but I mean, if something is of quality, you should support it. And all I could think about though is like black entrepreneurs. The thing that we lack in comparison to like big brand names and stuff like that is the financial capital to brand ourselves. And every time I think about branding, I think about like when they, I know this sounds crazy, but like the word brand, like when people have cattle
Go
companies,
ahead, get deep. Go ahead and get deep real quick.
when they think they get, you know, them cattle companies and they would, you know, take that hot brand and they would sear that cow to show that this is my product. And then I think about like what is branding, and it's like consistently they're showing us this image and it's getting imprinted into our subconscious. So it's like that's why, yeah, I think about like Steph Curry. So let's say he's a black entrepreneur. You know he's an athlete and everything, but we all like everybody rejected that shoe he came out with. They were talking bad about it. They called it like the grasshopper, the grass cutter 11s, all that type of stuff. But then they took that same shoe and they switched the emblem on it. They went from Under Armour to like Nike and all that type of stuff, and it looked like a better shoe off of that. So it's like we're all brainwashed, but we need to be able to break out of that and just be able to look at things for its face value and like, okay, this is a black person who's bringing me something of quality. And even if it isn't where it needs to be, if I support it, it will grow and it's going to keep the dollar circulating within my community.
Yeah, so two things. To Larry and Nick point about you know, black people. I feel like I don't know if it's like a pride thing or like you said, something that's just been ingrained like over time, but it's something about wanting to appear a certain way or having certain things like you said, whether it be something that's unattainable, like those high end brands like Gucci or whatever. Because I was watching this interview too about Shaq, and you know the rough number is like still like I think it was like 15 to 20 million or something that Shaq still makes off of those shoes. But think about like in our head, like nobody wants Shaqs, but it's because we want something that's like quote unquote unattainable and we want it to be up or just riding the wave. Like if it's new, oh y'all see I got these new J's on or this new bag, this new Birkin. And it's I mean, one is the celebrity thing because I feel like you're always wanting to kind of, well, in your head, you already know that you're not on that level with a celebrity. So you feel like it's acceptable. Whereas like we're talking about black people and like that crabs in a bucket mentality where if it's a local business, it's a dude, if it's a dude I used to work with and he's selling stuff, it's like I don't a lot of people might have that mentality that he's just like me, you know what I'm saying? So why does he deserve the business or why should I buy from him when, you know, when it's just that they think they should be in the same position as you know what I'm saying? So it's like that crabs in a bucket mentality as far as like why we can't push further and like push our own brand and support ourselves in our own communities because people want something that's established already. But it's like white people have helped white people. Like we don't get that Gucci and like all of those companies. It's been millions of people already in Italy supporting them, like Italians
Mhm.
support them, but we see the fame and like where it's sitting at and not, you know, when whoever was selling Gucci bags then like out of their trunks or whatever. So
I mean,
So how?
it's
Go ahead.
okay.
You good, bro?
I was just gonna say, I mean, that's real. That's like if to you know to add on to that, if I got somebody like Chris Brown or Kevin Hart to wear a Black While in Public hoodie, I wouldn't be able to stop the orders. I mean, that's just the truth.
mhm.
So other than looking at celebrities, how do we get in our communities? How do we get people to buy black purposely? You know what I'm saying? Without, you know what I'm saying, looking at these other brands. Like, how do we actually do that? Like, for instance, like the hoodie I just wore when we took pictures. Like, is that what we have to do? Like, do we have to put black businesses together? Like,
I mean,
cool,
it's
like cool business of optical illusions.
it's
Took
it's
pictures of
like
me.
that. It's the mindset, like what Nick was talking about, because it's like no matter, like, because you can think it's dope, like I mean, because that's how I kind of shop for like my clothes and stuff. But a lot of people, like, no matter how dope it is or what kind of uh promotion you put into it, if it's not like the one thing you could that which is it's a bad like trend to try to like keep up with your business, but if you would do much better, like that hoodie that you was wearing, if old boy was like, I'm dropping it this week, there's only 60 of them. Like people want something like exclusive, or they think like it's hard to have. Like people want something so they can just be like, well, you ain't got this. Like, you know, kind of like that Kanye line, like I'm spending all this money just to be like, you ain't up on this. Like it's that mindset.
I think one thing I'm thinking about, and I just thought about after you said that, I think it's the accessibility. So, like, for instance, I can just go on Nike.com right now, look at all these websites and find something I want. Like most black companies, I don't find a lot of black companies to where I have a variety of things to search for. Like that's just one thing I thought about.
But I mean, what you mean? Because I mean, there is black clothing companies, but it's like what draws you to go on Nike.com is because it's Nike. You know what I'm saying? And not I want like Cool had brought up. I went looking for it because I was like, that's dope. But it was like instead of just searching for a sweatshirt with the kangaroo pocket, like yo, I ain't never seen that before. So I'm gonna go search it, and I don't care what website I end up on. You know what I'm saying? But if you go like just casually shopping and you like, I don't know what kind of clothes I want. Let me go on Nike and see what Nike got. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think it's like an accessibility thing. Cause I mean, it's about like, these black companies have websites, but it's like, one, they can't promote like Nike, but it's easy for Nike to promote because Nike's name is a promotion in itself. You know
I guess when I say
That's,
accessibility, it's like, all right, so for instance, if you go to the mall right now, how many black companies you see at the mall? Like how many places can you go and actually find like a black owned sweater? Like I don't see that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of storefronts.
I feel like that's because of support. Like if you supported a black business to a certain level, Target would call them.
Yep.
Like true. if we pushed the brand hard enough, JC Penney's would try. And the thing is, it's kind of a catch-22 because all black business owners may not want that commercial exposure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's some trade-offs, right? Because if you do well, I said do on we. But if you do well, is that trade-off worth it? Right? So if let's say, I don't want to say what's a nice store. I don't know. Let's say Burlington Coat Factory calls me. That ain't a nice store, but I'm just saying. Or Macy's.
Let's go back to JCPenney, bro.
Nordstrom. Say Nordstrom.
All right, let's go Nordstrom's.
Yeah, Nordstrom's a good one.
You have a brand, let's say Black Wallet Public, and Nordstrom's calls you and say, we can distribute this in all of our stores, but we want 40%. Is that something that's worth it? You know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it depends on where you're at, like it's kind of made me think about like Shark Tank, you know, like what are your projections? Like how is it going? If you're not selling, you know, if you're selling like 5,000 in a year and you could jump to, you know, selling 500,000 in the next year, I mean, I feel like that's a safe bet. It's still more money than you've ever made and you're still the majority holder, but you know, it's just those type of things. I don't know.
For a situation like that, bro, I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you have more to say? I'm sorry. All right, so my situation, I would think generational, like wise. Like if I put it in JCPenney, that means my family is probably going to be able to live off this money in the future. Like instead of me just selling like local, that's just how I look at it. Like if you just selling local, then you're probably gonna like max out at a certain place. But if you put it into JCPenney, you might end up going to other companies as well as you see them selling at JCPenney or Nordstrom or whatever y'all said.
I mean, that's cool and all, but Just like the Ice Cube situation. How long is it gonna be until they cut you off? You can't do what you want to do with your product.
But that's when you have to actually like know what you're doing, like have lawyers or have like good contracts. Like I'm pretty sure Ice Cube knew what he was doing as far as like giving them ownership of what he was doing. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
But
he knew that, but he just felt like it was the
it
best
was worth
option.
the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but didn't Kanye get in a similar situation where they tried to limit him to like one shoe per year or
Exactly.
something like
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
it was with it was the Red Octobers he came out with, and it was like what Nike's highest selling shoe or something like that at the time. And then they were trying to limit him because they said he wasn't an athlete. They said, "Oh well, you're not an athlete, so you can't this, that, and the third." He wanted like creative rights, and he wanted like a certain ownership or percentage of it, and they were trying to hold him back. That's why he ended up going to Adidas. He said because he felt like they were trying to sun me.
So it's
And
kind of like you're betting on yourself, bro.
mhm.
Like, but I mean, sometimes it just don't end up as well as you want it to be.
I mean, I don't like. Don't get me wrong. The last person to speak anything as far as marketing wise, but my whole take on it, I guess, is persistence. Like anything you do, like you have to have a foundation. So me being me, if I was to start some type of branding or some type of visual or whatever for something I want to a product I want to get to the people, I'll start at home. I will start with people I know, people I'm comfortable with. You know, I wear my own product. A lot of people will make something and like still wear the big name products. I wear mine and like brag about mine to the, you know, to the fullest. Hey, see what I'm on? I'm clean right now. You know, yeah, this all me. You know, I talk like that. I bring that type of energy. And if people, if you can't even get like your hometown, like or places you've been to, been rooted in for a while, like to be on board, then I I honestly feel like that's the biggest challenge. I honestly do.
Yeah,
Like the more people you get on board, and it's plenty of platforms today, a lot of social media, a lot of ways to get your stuff out there. And it's like you put them on and they get on their platforms, you know, other people jump on the train, you know, and it's so on and so forth. All that from coming from your foundation, you know, your hometown or your people you're comfortable with, even your family. Yeah, your family should support you too. You know, if you can't sway them, then I mean, should you move forward?
I feel
So
like
I'll go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I feel like one thing we need to do is I don't know exactly what state it was in. I feel like we need to open local like black stores, like for clothing.
like a
I
co-op,
would what'd you say?
like a co-op or like a
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
the stockyard.
what's
Yeah,
that word
like
called?
open up a store where black owners can go to them and be like, "Hey, can you put this in this store for me? I'll give you. Well, I'm just gonna say 20% of like whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like we should have stores
I'm
like that
saying
so black entrepreneurs can actually make more money and people have one set place to go. Like it's hard to find like I mean I can look on social media and find black clothing, but like I'd rather go to the store and actually see it. Like that's just me.
I think a lot of times, I think maybe we sometimes we focus so big too on like whether it's clothing. It's like the things that I always see is clothing, it's food, it's music, because you're an entrepreneur if you're a musician, hands down. Um, it's like maybe we don't see enough out of the box thinking. I don't know. Um, there was this movie that came out a while back and was made by this very affluent black man. I forgot his name, but it was like How to Sell to the Negro. And one of the things that was stated in the movie is like when selling to a Negro, don't ever bring him, generic or cheap. Like you need to bring him name brand. It's like because one of the things is the black man had been oppressed for so long, and the black woman is like they've been oppressed for so long. It's like they want to have something that shows, their growth, their progress, their affluence, and it's like I feel like part of the reason why we buy these brand names is because just like I forgot who was it that said it within this podcast. is that we want to project, you know, the wealth and financial stability and that we got it going on. And maybe some people don't see that when they see a black brand. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you wearing your cousin Boo Boo brand he just came up with." It's like people can't look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, I know that costs $5,000 right there." People might be like, "Oh, where'd you get it from?" But like, you see somebody wearing a whole Louis Vuitton suit, the first thing you're thinking is like, "Oh, this guy's money. This somebody must be important." Um, and I think being like, it's okay to look nice and you know, put together, but I think that we need to stop searching for affirmation from other people through our appearance just by whatever name brand. Like if you want to buy Gucci because you want to buy Gucci, then okay, I get it. You know that Gucci is known for its quality. I can respect that. But if you're wearing it just because like when people see me, they're gonna look at me like, dang, that's a big baller. I feel like that's detrimental. Because people will sit here and break their whole back to get that stuff and then have no, you know, and then just be struggling in that sense. But you just got to push the brand, just like we said. Like Fubu used to be a thing. Y'all remember Fubu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wore Fubu. It was Dame Dash's brand, and I think one other guy.
It
And we
was
wore.
it was started by Damon John, the guy from Shark Tank.
Oh, that it was that. It was not Dame Dash.
Damon
Did
John.
Dame Dash didn't have a hand in it?
I don't know how. I know I heard the story how Damon John started it. I don't know
That's
who else
right.
came on board.
And then Fubu just went out. Like I just remember nobody was wearing Fubu anymore. He made his millions and all that, but that was a brand that, in my opinion, should have stayed around. I mean, the whole thing was like for us by us. Like that is literally the spirit of this conversation. It's like it's made by black people. It's for black people. I don't know. Maybe we make things too niche sometimes.
So what do you think happened? You think like maybe it didn't get big enough with the big brands out there, or like what do you think?
I think maybe it was too niche because it fell into that urban wear, streetwear category, and people who wore it listen to hip hop. That's about it. Like Polo has been a name brand that's been around for years because people associated Polo with affluence. I mean, they did. Like if people wore it originally, it started originally for the aristocracy I think it was maybe in England or maybe in America, who would go and play polo at these like country clubs. So they started designing these different stuff. That's what Ralph Lauren was doing, and then it just blew up from there. And then people were like, oh, like you remember Carlton was wearing polo on Fresh Prince. So it was considered to be like a rich boy thing, and then it just took off from there. But I
feel like
digress.
I feel like it's a thin line though because it's kind of like you're saying like it's niche. So like if your brand targets black people,
Hmm.
it's too small as far as branding. But like it's crazy because black people are taking big brands to the next level. And so I think for an entrepreneur, like even in our space and weddings, it is difficult to try to work the whole system, right? Because we understand that black people make up a very small portion of the population.
Hmm.
Um, but it's kind of hard to say that the black dollar isn't big enough when the black dollar is literally making and breaking these huge brands.
Maybe the trick is maybe this is what it is. It's like you're gonna get to a point where you quote unquote sell out. Like you're niche until you get so big that you hit critical mass and you have to expand. So it's like I do black. So say Black Wine Public, and it goes big and it sells millions. And okay, I could keep making it. I would have to keep making variations, but like always thought about this is like, would a white person buy a Black Wine Public shirt with Africa on it? You know, like would a white person buy that? Like, would they be able to connect or resonate with that product? It's like I don't know. I can't predict it. It might see it as a trendy thing, but for how long? So I mean, it's stuff like, I feel like for you, you do weddings. I feel like, okay, predominantly you've been doing black weddings because like that's what's in your network. You know, you started out doing people you knew who were black, and then but then it got to a point was like people of other races started reaching out to you. And I think that's just all it is. It's I feel like you're not really in a niche. I think it's just it is what it is at this moment. But it has the potential to expand out beyond that because it's weddings. I mean, everybody gets married. So
That's what I was gonna say. Like you're saying, like everybody gets married, and I feel like the things you had listed off earlier, Nick, like food, clothes,
mm-hmm.
and music.
Music, yeah.
Is it because the avenues that black entrepreneurs try to get into are they're not as subjective as other things. You know what I'm saying? Like who, because like you said, let's be honest, you were like people wear Gucci because a lot like because they're aware of the quality. But
Mm-hmm.
like are they? Are they really? Like is it because it's quality or is it because it's Gucci? You know what I'm saying? Whereas
Because it's
it's
expensive.
different because if it's expensive, but like it's different if like you were a black jeweler, you
mm-hmm.
can't front on your product. Like those
Right.
diamonds are object, like it's these are pure diamonds or they're not. You know what I'm saying? Not as like you were saying, your black and public clothes, like one, the material like you having to switch up on, but like just from an outside consumer perspective, it's like I mean, I honestly would just want to wear it because it says black while in public. Like I like the trendy look and not
Mm-hmm.
just, not being able to decipher actual quality.
It's like
So
when I looked at Black Wild in Public, I looked at Black Pyramid first by Chris Brown. Remember Black Pyramid? Like people were wearing it a lot, and then
mhm.
now I really don't see people wearing Black Pyramid. Like it was hot for like 2 years maybe, and then now it's like I don't even see a Black Pyramid. Like maybe I see it in like DTLR, and
And
that's
that's what
that.
I was gonna say. And then it's kind of like, cause think about that. The quality on his clothes hasn't changed, but when you could get it is changed. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being a limited release on his website, like you're saying, it's in DTLR now or whatever. Authentics. Y'all remember Authentics in the
I
mall?
do remember
Yeah.
Authentics. Yeah, God.
So you know what I'm saying. So just that avenue, I think that has a lot to do with it. Like the product and the business you're trying to go after, like leaving it up to being such a subjective thing, whether where far as you can get like actual quality product and then being able to measure that.
It's tough, man. It's like
So
how
do you
much.
guys think we need to do a better job as a community? Because I've been reading this book called The Millionaire Next Door, and I haven't been reading the book. First off, I use audiobook and I listen to books. If y'all want to sponsor our podcast, we would really appreciate it. But I was
Mm-hmm.
listening to this book, and one of the things that the book opened up talking about is wealthy people don't look like what most people would envision as wealth,
Facts.
right? Whether that's clothes, whether it's the cars you drive. Like I literally live in an apartment complex, and there are people with $70,000 Range Rovers who stay in apartments.
Mm.
And so I don't know who drives the car. So I don't know if it's a race thing or I don't know if it affects one community more than another. But I think a lot of people have their own perception of what wealth looks like. But in America, the wealthy don't always look like what we see on TV.
It's true.
Mhm. So,
I
Go ahead.
agree. Definitely.
so what are you asking, cool? Do we need to
No,
do a better job or what?
as a community of just like that kind of like that financial literacy piece of saying whether we buying black or not, where do we find our value as a community, right? Because I
Mm.
mean now because I went to an HBCU, I do see people who came out of college and they're celebrating like I'm a homeowner, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and those big momentous things, but most times you do see people, you know, and this is no shade, but you see people on Facebook and they're standing in front of really nice cars and they say like, this is a blessing. I just want to thank God for this car. And their car payment may be more than their rent.
Yeah.
And you're like, is it a blessing or is it, not to come for nobody? Everybody deserves whatever they want to have, but
No, don't worry about that. Talk about it. We just talking.
I mean, this is
But
real
yeah.
talk though.
yeah, because I've
Some
seen
people need to
that.
hear this.
I've definitely seen people $600 plus car payments, and you stay with like 3 or 4 people. And I'm not talking about your wife and kids.
Yeah.
So like, how do we justify that, or how do we help our community realize like we may have to place some value in things other than those, materialistic things?
So you're saying like how to like reach out to them, like how to get their attention, as
Right.
far as, because I get what you said, like, is like,
I know y'all do that in the
season.
military. I seen military people drive the best cars, and I live in Fayetteville.
And they be coming to me on an AER rep. They be asking me for loans all the time.
Bro.
Try to push their loans through.
Bro.
I mean, I was that guy at one point in time. I'm not even gonna flex. Like, I wasn't smart enough to even know, you know what I'm saying, how to live financially.
Now, do you say that stems from like just your childhood, like how you grew up, like wanting to have that?
That's what I was about to hit.
Because I know
I don't even. Oh, go ahead.
I'm about to say, because I know, like, I've gone out and on an impulse buy, and and bought something that I immediately regretted after I bought it. But it's like I always wanted this. I always wanted this. Like, I feel like I'm trying to make up for what I didn't have when I was a kid. Like, I used to see people with it, and it's like, dang, I want that. And then I go and I get it, and it's like, I feel like it's the same thing. Like, you want to have that nice car when you driving down the street and people see you. You know.
So me personally, I don't think it was my childhood, bro. It was just like me growing up fast. Like, bro, like, yeah, I think about it. I went to the military, got married. I mean, I needed a car, so I got a car. It wasn't like I was trying to get the best car, but as far as like interest rate, I was just like, I'm approved for a car, let me get a car. Like, I wasn't like into the interest rate. I didn't know. Okay, when I move into an apartment, I gotta have furniture. I don't have $2,000 to go buy a furniture set right off top. So I'm gonna go get some furniture and finance it. That was the stupidest thing I ever done, but that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't have somebody be like, hey, go to a thrift store. Go, you might be able to find furniture there. Like, I didn't have that person tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't know. I don't think my childhood had anything to do with that.
And it's like what you see too, because what about Dominique? Would you have wanted to, you know what I'm saying, in the situation that you were in? Like, of course, if you were working towards something better, but that $2,000 furniture that you couldn't afford, would you have felt any like less successful if, I mean, all your bills were still paying, you was putting a roof over your wife and kids' head, but your couch and your love seat don't match, and you got a table from the thrift store? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what Cool is saying, that it kind of stems from like changing the narrative of what we think is wealthy too. You know what I'm saying? Without risking actually losing money. Like the fact that if we see a nice car like a Maserati driving down the road, we're like, that person is rich. You know what I'm saying? Where now, like, of course, like Cool was saying, most of the time you can't even afford their car note. But if somebody's driving a 94 Honda that look like Bill Gates, or like it is Bill Gates driving a 94 Honda, we like it's like we don't even pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like we should be learning from those people and those certain things, but like we can't even get into the door of learning from these certain people because of our perception from the outside. And like they don't even have money. Like, we don't think they have money.
Oh my God.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's like when you said that though, it made me think about Muhammad Ali did an interview, and they asked Muhammad Ali, they were like, how are you talk against materialism, but you have a Rolls Royce in the car in the garage and this, that, and the third. And he was like, I have 2 Rolls Royces. And he was like, I don't talk against materialism. He's like, if you want to have nice things, whatever. He was like, the reason why I get these things is because people like to see wealth. It was like, I mean, just saying what you were saying is like, He was like, I have the pretty cars and a nice house, and I sit in my house and they say, oh, Mr. Ali will see you in 20 minutes. And I wait 30 minutes to come down. So that way they have to think about what they're going to say to me. He was like, just because, putting up, that perception, people are going to listen to what I say even more. He was like, he said, Elijah Muhammad lived in a shack at one point, and then all the preachers and all them were saying, oh, well, if he's so blessed if he's of God, then why isn't he blessing him? Why isn't he sitting in a nice car and all that type of stuff? Like, we look at people who drive the nice cars as being successful and all that type of stuff because it's the stuff that we want. It's it's a marker of success, when in reality it really isn't. You could be.
And speaking of Farrakhan's backyard looked like the Garden of Eden. I just want to throw that out
but
there.
aren't we taught that perception is reality?
We are.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that goes with that, bro. Like, that's why people think that way.
But the crazy thing about it is perception is nowhere near reality.
True, that's true. I'm just saying, but that's what we're taught.
You could rent that Maserati and be on a pallet, or for my non-country listeners, like an air mattress or something. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely think we have a long ways to go, because you think people will buy all this stuff. Y'all talked about Gucci, all these nice brands, and not own stock. And so your counterparts are buying stock in these companies and they're getting richer. And you got all the Gucci stuff that's gonna go out of style. Like, think about how many dope things are not relevant right now. Like, clothes depreciate. The only good thing about being as an adult is, like, usually you the same size, so you can still fit it. But like, I used to have this what kind of shirt was it? It might have been like this fake Gucci shirt with all these letters and stuff.
No, Coogee,
yeah.
Coogee,
Bro, I was so
Coogee
embarrassed to wear that shirt after a year. It's like, it's crazy, but like, it's crazy because now I'm at a place where I've made more money than I've ever made, but I be buying clothes from Walmart because I'm like, I don't need no $300 pair of jeans.
Even though you can afford it, but you can afford it, right?
Right. It's like, dang, like what? Because I was listening to a show today, and we kind of talked about this on a past episode, but the guy made a really good point. He said some people, their goal is to have just enough to take care of their family. And this is from a very spiritual standpoint. But he was kind of saying that philosophy is selfish, right? Because like on this earth, our purpose is bigger than we are, right? And so your impact on this earth, whether that's your great grandkids to come or just people in your community, you can help so many people when you maximize your resources. And some people just do just enough, right? And I know one of the topics was kind of talking about, a lot of people talk about stepping out on faith. Is it realistic for people who have a lot of responsibilities to actually step out on faith and kind of try to get into these entrepreneurial or investment type opportunities?
I mean, as simple as it goes from what Larry was saying, I feel like last episode, like priority lists, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do have a priority and you just make a list, you know what I'm saying? And you can check off, and wherever that stepping out on faith lies, like, don't jeopardize. If it's number 3, don't jeopardize 2 and 1 if that's your kids and your family, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I think there's the saying that God will not give you more than you can bear. But there was something that my first song used to say. He was like, don't carry anything that your chest can't handle. So come on, give me a second. I'm sorry. So like me, man, I think to be personal, like me right now, there are things that I want to do in life, but I'm at a point where I don't have the ample amount of time that I would like the pay is decent, but it's the time. So my thing is, I feel like there's levels to get to another point. And if I can get to the next level and open this door, then I'd be able to go through these different avenues. I feel like, it's like there's a ladder and you get on one step and you can reach this certain branch on a tree. You take another step up, then you can, pick more fruit off. And the higher you go, the better the fruit can be, and the more you can, put into your basket. And you just got to be able to take those steps. And me, I have kids, and I need to have a certain level of stability in order to, properly care for them and then go and expand my resources. But first and foremost, I need to be able to make sure that everything is good at home and we have a good homeostasis and stability. And then outside of that, then I can take, if I was single, in terms of like not having any responsibility to a person other than myself, then I feel like I could take whatever risk or chance. I could sleep in my car somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be that big of an issue. It's like, because it's just me, and I know that I could sacrifice my comfortability to do whatever if I know whatever. But I'm not willing to, sacrifice my kids or their well-being or their experience with me.
I feel like I'm gonna use stepping out on faith as an absolute last resort. I'm gonna grind until I can't grind no more. And if it ain't looking good for me, I'm gonna pull out my ace card. That's when I step out on faith. Like that's the only way I see that, like, working for me. Like I guess you can say I'm kind of different. I'm selfish with my money. I don't want to let it go. I see something to see the price, be like, oh no, I got it. I don't want to spend it. Then I turn around and be like, heck man, I work hard. Why can't I just get this from me? I'm gonna do it. So I'm in between. But when it ever come to the point where I have to step out on faith, like there's probably gonna be an eye opener for me. Like, cause obviously I don't lost my way. like Trey was saying, rebuttal what I was talking about with priorities. Obviously I don't mess my priorities up. And that ain't it. That's how I feel about it.
So if you're able to like still take care of your family financially, you wouldn't like step out on faith. Like, so you're saying you'll only do it if
you're at rock
like,
bottom.
Yeah, if you rock bottom. So you would, like, if you have a dream, you wouldn't do it while you're content. Like you're good. Like you'll just be content.
What you mean have a dream? It's just like I said, I grind and work for it.
Okay, I guess I get that. Because it sounded like you were saying like you are only step out on faith if you're rock bottom. That's what it sounded like.
Oh no. So same thing in you said if I had a dream like I was trying to do, I'm gonna work. If I hit a dead end and another, I say like 3 roadblocks, 3 dead ends, like I'm probably gonna I'm gonna step out on faith then. Yeah. It ain't just gonna be no, oh well, I'm only gonna do it unless I'm broke. Nah. It applies to everything.
Yeah, so just be personally, I'm still working on my faith in general. Like just in general. So I haven't even got to the point where I can step out on faith because I'm still working on my faith just in general.
All you need is a mustard seed.
That's real. But that's why I'm holding myself back for sure. There's a lot of things I wanted to try in life. Like this podcast right here. Like I guess this could be me stepping out on faith because initially I didn't want to do it. I was a person that don't like being in front of the camera.
You got too much doubt, Dominique.
Hey, that's real. I mean, I know that though. Like I know my weaknesses. Like I'm not a person that don't see my weaknesses. But that's just how I think, bro. So
but now you TikTok crazy.
Yeah.
But TikTok not really stepping out on faith. I'm talking about like I mean, I guess you can monetize from that, but I'm not. That's just like for fun, bro. I'll be bored.
What is it that you want to step out on faith on?
It's a number of things, bro. Starting an AAU basketball program.
Oh, you have been talking about that.
Like that.
Yeah, or
maybe
even
potentially starting a small business. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything like that. Like
My-
it's like I don't know if it's because I'm scared of failure. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I'm scared of failure. I'm more scared of failure than stepping out on faith.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people in our communities, we have a different perspective of the value of some of the things that are achievable, right? So we kind of talk about stepping out on faith. I feel like there are some people in the white community, stuff that we would consider stepping out on faith, they consider like basic economics.
every day. Yeah.
You know, like we like, oh no, I'm not gonna take out a loan to get a rental property and pay a $500 a month mortgage. But to them, it's like this ain't a sacrifice. This is just, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like sometimes, like even I feel like there are people in our communities, not to say that only people in our communities do this, but there are people in our communities that don't pay into their 401k at all.
Right.
Because they want their check to be as high as possible. And I don't know if it's like we don't understand it as well, how it works long term, or if we just don't, if we've never seen the value of like, there are people who are janitors that graduate that retire with $1 million. Like we never seen that. We seen people work till they die, right? And so we don't necessarily attribute these risks to being valuable or something that may get us out of our current situations. If that makes sense.
So all right, so because what you said as far as about the 401k, like kind of just don't know. Like I got to the point now where I'm paying into it, but initially, like TSP in the military, I didn't want to pay into it. I didn't really know much about it. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while.
That?
It's thrift savings plan. It's pretty much like the 401k for the military. It's pretty much the same thing. So do y'all think like they should teach us this stuff in high school, or is it like a problem? Because I guess like in the white household, they probably teach that in the household. So like, is it the parents' job to teach it to their kids, or should we have like a community center that, you know what I'm saying, that teach the kids? Like how should that work?
Why not both?
It should be in school. Just like
because I feel like
economics.
parents don't know as well. Like I feel like a lot of parents don't know.
So the community would be better because the parents and the kids could attend.
Because I mean, at this point, I'm kind of
parents can teach the kids.
Because at this point, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable. But just like thinking about everybody in general as a whole, like I don't feel like a lot of people really are that educated financially.
Yeah, I think most people don't get it. Like even little things that you just don't realize that like a lot of people don't understand that your rent payment may be more than someone's home mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And like there are people, I've heard of stories of people who parents pass away and they never knew they were renting their home. And so like their parents passed away, you're thinking this is a family home, and you find out they've been renting this home for 30, 40 years. And you like, wow, like they paid all that money all those years and it's gone. You know?
Yeah.
And
Go
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I mean, because I feel like you was asking, I mean, like where it needs to happen. Like Cool said, the experience, bro, and it's like in white households, it's life, it's living, and it's cool. Like Nick said, I mean, if you want, like, we could open up, you can learn it in school or learn like have classes and stuff, but because I mean we need the resources, but it has to be like a generational thing and actually living it. It's kind of like the same way with language, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of bilingual kids, they didn't learn, you know, in a class, and it's the same way. Like we would be fluent in other languages if we learned. I mean, if we learned it in the home, or if school or those classes actually worked rather than actually living it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So for me, like it's sad because the only reason I'm really learning financially is because I learned through failure. Like I learned through a lot of mistakes I made coming up. And it's like sad because like you could think of black households where you got a 2-year-old in the house and they got a light bill in their name. Like that's telling you a lot about the black household. And I seen that a lot. Like I seen like people sue their parents because their credit's messed up by the time they get out of high school because their parents have stuff in their name. So that's just telling you how the black household isn't, not gonna say they all financially illiterate, but a lot of us are.
Yeah. And like Trey even said with experience, like y'all know my mom made pretty good money. And like one of the things she told me was never buy a timeshare. Right.
Yep.
And so being somebody who made good money, she thought she was flexing. She thought she was stepping up in life. I'm gonna buy this timeshare. We're gonna have somewhere to vacation. But you don't know it's a whole bunch of y'all paying the same mortgage on this same one place that you can only go for a couple weeks out of the year. Right. Not knowing that like it wasn't a smart move. And so I do agree. It is crazy that like most of the things we learn is from failure. All right. And so to go into the last topic um for today, do you guys think that home behavior should impact your career or your overall job? And the reason I say this is because we all know Kirk Franklin has been getting ran all over for getting into an argument with his oldest son. They were cursing. There was some foul words. And a lot of people got a lot to say about it. And I think the one difference in this case is he is quote unquote a man of faith. And that plays a big role into his career and what he does. But how do you guys feel overall about that situation? And then also in general, does what you do at home, should that impact your workplace?
He was wrong. Period.
I gotta hear this. Why was he wrong?
So so Kirk is a public figure. He is a whole public figure, and he is a member of. He's basically a clergyman. His music is about the gospel, and he stands beside preachers and all these other people and ministers. He's a minister of music. Now, I get that you getting into with your son and y'all getting a heated conversation, but one, his son foul too. Period. His son is foul, but you're putting the perception as a clergyman or whatever, you're putting out this perception of purity and chasteness and piety, and you're at home cussing your son out, calling him everything but a child of God, and even saying GD. Like you saying GD, like you're this profess, this, like, oh, first it was the porn. He was addicted to porn. I gave him the pass on that. But this, it's like, I can never really like take you all the way seriously whenever I hear you up there outside them tight suits, because now every time I see you cussing your son out, talking about you gonna break his neck and all that type of stuff. Like, I get your kid's gonna make you mad and piss you off. But bro,
so you saying he distorted his image? Like that's it for Kirk Franklin? Is it any redemption?
it's probably not it for Kirk Franklin.
But you don't think, Nick, that you can be holy in two different places?
Yeah. Is that I was about to get him.
Oh, let's go back to
like
last
the issue
week.
is that you guys are
no.
Let's
issue
go
is that
back
you
to
guys
last
are
No,
week.
we're not going
No,
back.
no, because holiness is kind of like truthfulness. It's not like loyalty or disloyalty. It's two different things.
That's your perception.
But I think the issue is that people are trying to look
no.
I think that people are trying to look at him like he's Jesus or God himself.
He's
like,
not Jesus.
He's not perfect, bro. Like
he is a representation. He is a representation of what is supposed to happen when you fully accept Jesus into your life.
No, I
That's
disagree.
That is what he is.
No, he's
Bro,
not.
people
He's
jumping
not.
down here.
If TD Jakes, if you
He's
caught
not.
TD Jakes cussing somebody out, what would
He's
you think
not.
that would do to TD Jakes?
He's not. First of all,
he's not perfect.
he without sin cast the first stone.
All right.
Let me tell you this.
Right.
Lead by example.
I think your perspective is the biggest issue with the Black church, period. And the reason I say this, right, because if you go to a hospital, you're going to say everybody in this hospital is sick, right? Does that mean that the hospital makes people sick? Sick people go to the hospital, right? The same way as people who need God are broken people. The church is a place for broken people. Everybody in the church is broken. And we have painted this picture that you're supposed to be pure. You're supposed to be great. You're human. You wouldn't be at the church if you weren't broken. So you threw up his porn addiction as something against him, or like him cursing. Like, bro, that is the reason he's in the church, is because he's broken. Like, and even people who are in the church, they do sin the same way doctors get sick as well. And so you may be the doctor, you may be the lead example of what healing looks like. But if you catch COVID, you got COVID and you sick too. So like, who are
And
we?
guess what? And guess what? If you got COVID, you ain't gonna get to operate on nobody.
Oh, that's tough too. That's tough. Okay. All
Bro,
right.
like,
But you can heal though, and
Okay.
you don't lose your job.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah. I
At
ain't
the end
what's
of
the
the day,
point?
that man
He-
shouldn't have been violated, man. Like he shouldn't have been recorded, and it ain't nobody business what him and his son got going on, or how he talking to his son, how his son talking to him.
His son was trying to expose him like this is the real Kirk Franklin.
It don't even matter.
that's
like you
okay,
said, his
though.
son trash too. But like
he trashed for that
it,
too.
it don't even matter. Like people worry about him because he a big name. That's the only reason they even like worried about it. But you got the same like pastors and deacons and ministers doing the same exact thing that you see every day going to probably your church. They do the same thing, but you don't know that. Like people try to account for everybody what they do when no one's looking or when no one's hearing them.
I get a man is a man is a man, but you wouldn't have a wolf lead a flock, a sheep. Like,
Bro.
It-
but
So
how
that's what
can
that's what I asked
it's
you.
like the
about
blind leading the
redemption thing.
blind.
No, it's
So
not.
does he get redemption or no?
How can
He
you
can
lead
get- I said
broken
he can get
people if you ain't been
redemption.
broke? Like you have to.
You got to be broke before, but you can't be currently broken.
Yes, you can, bro. Christianity is not you're never broke again. That's not what Christianity is
you
about.
can't. You
God
cannot.
died to save us, bro. Like that ain't Christianity. Is that once you
Like,
get saved?
So let me ask you this: what? So would you let the wino bum on the corner lead a church?
Bro, if you made a mistake, are you still your son's father?
Of course.
Okay, then. Your son ain't gonna wake up because of a mistake you made yesterday and not respect you as his father. You still have that role in his life.
So do you disagree when churches ask pastors to step down from their position?
No, because they have a choice on who leads them. What I'm saying is you can't condemn somebody for sin because we all sin.
You said they have a choice.
They
of who
have a
leads
choice.
them. So then the people
That's
who
different.
listen to his
That's-
music have a choice of whether or not that he still provides them that ministry to them.
I never said that he couldn't provide that people could not listen to him. But I'm saying we can't condemn him for being a bad person.
I didn't say he was a bad person.
Like you got that perspective, and that's the crazy thing because like everybody who has that perspective, like who has the right to have that perspective? Like, is your life so great that you can sit back and say, you know what, you fell short, Kirk. You don't deserve the platform you're on. Like,
I am not
how
trying
can we
to
say
be
that?
a gospel, like I'm not trying to be a church figure because I know that I am not on that level. Like I know I'm not on that level. Why would I want to go and portray that? That's like, all right, that's like a TD Jakes was pimping hookers.
That's not the same.
You jumped out.
That is extreme, bro.
Okay.
Pimping hookers.
That's extreme, though.
Okay.
I'm not saying if you're a pastor and you're molesting kids, it's okay. I'm not saying those extreme cases, but like getting mad and arguing with your son, I don't think that means you don't know God no more.
He broke a commandment though.
Have you broken any?
bro,
Of course I have.
Everybody has.
Of course I have.
everybody's in church.
Where are the perfect
has sin,
ministers
bro.
at?
Like,
There aren't any. That's the problem.
Bro,
There are no
get
perfect
it.
ones.
I think what my thing is that if we're gonna, I feel like there has to be a cap somewhere. Like
There can't be, bro. That's what Jesus died for. Like Christianity is about love, bro.
you gotta have
Like,
some type of cap.
no,
or people
there's
gonna
not.
go buck wild and act
This
like
is not-
animals.
Bro,
You said
this is
a
not
cap?
religion. This
So,
is
so,
like
you can do, so you can do
Yeah.
certain things, but you can do too much of certain things. That's you
Give me
saying
a
by a
cap.
cap.
Give us a cap, and I can probably show you.
Y'all
where you a
have
bad
y'all
pastor.
have
Yeah.
service, right? And y'all eat afterwards, and you see your pastor like eat a whole plate. He full, but he go get dessert. That ain't gluttony.
That's gluttony.
He's sitting right in
Pastor
front of
fat.
y'all. So now he can't be your pastor no more.
We need to start looking at them differently.
Nick, ain't gonna be no
Man,
pastors. Nick.
bro, this man Nick tripping, bro.
Y'all, it ain't
My
gonna be no
expect-
pastors.
It's completely opposite because Nick, it's like you discrediting like all the work that he still puts in before, like you said, you brought up his porn addiction, but you don't know the hours that he spent in the church praying for forgiveness, and then even like you don't, bro. And then it's the same way you would be mad if you made a certain mistake that people just discredit everything you did before and the work that you put in. And like we should look at Nick differently now. You just said last week, people like depending on what you do, you don't think you should be looked at differently.
I think when it comes to people who within the clergy or within that religious aspect, I put them in a completely different box.
He's not. First of all, he's not
That's
a
the
pastor.
problem, though, bro.
First of all, he's not a pastor. Stop saying it like he's the Pope.
He's a minister.
He is a musician, bro.
He is a
You are
minister.
saying it like he is the pastor, guy and sheep. You keep talking about sheep and wolves. He is an entertainer. He is a musician.
So why are you looking at them different? Because they going to church and they're trying to better themselves. Like they're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Why are you?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. His music, I'm not gonna say he can't do his music. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna, but I will say that he's wrong. I'm gonna say that he's wrong and that like
Nobody
when
said
he
was right.
apologized, when he apologized, I was like, yeah, bro, like you better apologize. That's how I felt. Like you better apologize. You
but
better.
then who are you
But-
though? Like,
But he
No,
wouldn't
nah,
apologize
you
if
better-
no one brought it to light, though.
Like if he just shrugged it off and was like, hey, it is what it is, I would have been like,
but he didn't. So what are you mad at right now? Like he made a mistake.
no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just saying like he was wrong. Like the question was like, should that affect his personal life? In his case, yes, it should.
No, not his personal life. His
No,
professional life.
Yeah,
in his professional
I
life.
say
Well, yeah,
no,
his
you-
professional life. Excuse me.
You don't mix work. You don't mix work and home like with no career like you got going on. You don't do it. You don't mix it. So what's the difference between like me bringing my army problems home and then going to work and bringing my home problems to the army, so my soldiers can see me going through this and that and affecting my work? It's the same thing with him. If he got this going on, his son, he cuss his son out. That is what it is.
He
You
was
don't think
saying
so?
He was saying GD and every, bro, he's supposed to be an example. It's like, okay,
So he's
Okay,
held to a higher
okay,
standard because
okay.
he's a celebrity.
okay,
That's what you're saying.
all right, that's like cool. You are a health professional.
You saying me? Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yes.
saying
If
cool,
if
bro.
you got out here and you was at home and somebody got a recording of you saying that, forget that COVID, I don't care, I ain't even getting no real vaccine, da da. Do you think that should affect that affect your professional life? Larry, you're a soldier. If somebody got a recording of you saying F America, death to America, do you think that should affect your professional standing?
That's so
I mean,
extreme though. You're telling me
It is
that
literally-
I'm putting that example is number one is affecting the public perception of the safety of a vaccine. And I have a oath to do, like I have oaths and I have professional responsibilities. I feel like what I tell my child if I told my child they not gonna get that vaccine, that shouldn't impact my job.
Kirk has an oath to
he
God.
didn't curse out somebody at the church. He was talking to his child.
He talked to his loved one like that, like they was some man on the street.
His adult loved one.
You've never argued with a family member?
Who gave him that same energy?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that because the energy his son gave him would have led to me cussing too.
Yeah, his
Sure.
adult loved one who gave him the
I don't
exact
care if
same
I'm,
energy.
I don't
Maybe
care if I'm
more.
a pastor of the church, a clergyman, or whatever. It don't matter. He gonna get that same energy.
I feel like Cool gave a perfect example at the beginning, Nick. Like your job as a father, like it wouldn't be affected by a mistake you made. And that's your job. You know what I'm saying? Like the mistakes you made, which of course, like, keep that to you. Should Kyle look at you any different as a father?
Nah.
And as an example for him? No, you still you're like, I'm still
to
a good
a certain-
example for Kai as a man, right?
To a certain extent, yeah, you're gonna have to be accountable within your child's eyes, as all of our fathers are.
But do you still feel like you're a good example as a man to Kai? And
I
what
feel
a man
like I
should
could be. I could definitely.
Yeah,
be
that's
way
not. I'm
better.
just saying right now.
No, I
though,
don't
do
feel
you
like I'm a
think-
terrible man. No, I don't. No.
So
Okay.
you're right. You're gonna be held accountable for your actions in his eyes, but you still his father. It's not gonna stop you from being his father, though.
Okay, and he didn't stop being his father. We're not talking about his relationship with his son. We're talking about
And we talking about
his professional
job.
life.
Mhm.
No, there's an expectation. You're saying people shouldn't expect the same thing for him because he made a mistake. He shouldn't be leading and talking about Jesus because he messed up. What if somebody said you shouldn't be a father because you made mistakes, so you should just go ahead and sign over your parental rights to the mother of your children because you
Hey
messed
man,
up?
it's different. That's biological.
I mean, you want to hype
First
up
of all,
God.
we're
God
talking
is
about the
just
exact same
spiritually-
thing.
that's-
He made a mistake with his son. Like this is the exact same
No,
scenario.
we're talking about professional life. This is talking about the effect on the professional life. You're talking about my relationship with my son. It's completely different.
Okay, if the son mess up, right, and do this, and that, is he no longer the son to his father?
No, it's still biological. Like we're talking
No,
about
it's not,
professional.
because let's think spiritually. All right, you messed up in your father's eyes, right,
Literally.
as a child. So
And
do like he
spiritually,
disown
bro.
you now? Do he not claim you anymore, or are you still his son?
You always gonna be a son. Biologically, that is your son.
But Nick, and you just said,
I just
but
said spiritually.
and yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like spiritually,
We're
Nick, you had
talking,
just said.
yo.
Now it's just professional, Nick. But you was like, no, he took an oath to God. So
And
like,
and then we
don't
talking
get no
God.
higher than that.
And then we talking
It's
spiritually
God.
now.
We're
Is
talking
it
about
just,
from a
is it just surface
spiritual
level?
standpoint. From a spiritual standpoint,
Like you said, he's supposed
He
he's
would
a man
be-
of faith. And that's truth in itself, right?
okay. From a spiritual standpoint, you were supposed to be able to come there with a clean conscience. Like if you're going to lead these people,
That's not
Like-
Bible though. Like what have you heard about the disciples and their stories? Like that ain't Bible. God didn't
Okay.
use perfect people. That he's never done that.
They
Name one
didn't start
perfect
out
person
perfect,
that
no.
God used. Like, and
and
he
then
still
they weren't perfect, but they became righteous on their walk.
his story's not over. His story's not over, bro. You writing them off.
When they entered into ministry, full on ministry with God, you didn't
You don't
hear
know.
about them.
What
You
about
didn't-
Judas? What about Judas?
Judas was not in full ministry. He was following Jesus, but he was not a minister. He
Bro.
was not an apostle. He was a disciple.
So you telling me he won't do it more than Kirk doing? How you not in ministry? You following
Bro, all
Jesus
he used to do
himself?
was he handled the money for Jesus. That's what he did.
You walking with Jesus, but you're not in ministry, Nick.
You walking
Bro,
with Jesus.
I don't even got to argue with you
think-
no more.
I
If
think-
you don't
look,
agree with that.
He was
Look,
an entourage.
Let's stop. Bro.
Jesus
I
was
think
doing
we
all the
can-
ministry.
I think what we can agree
I
here
pass
is
these
that,
flyers
is that
out.
look, I think what we can
Wow.
agree here is that Nick's bag of stones is empty. That's all we saying. He done threw the first stone. That's all we saying. I think we can agree on that.
That's the only
Bro,
Bible
got
verse
no
you
more
know.
stones.
And it's
Yeah,
Nick,
completely,
I can't even argue with Nick on this, bro.
bro. It's completely opposite from your stance last week, though. That's what's got me crazy.
That's
because
what's
you-
funny too. Yeah.
Because the mistakes last week
Different.
that you made couldn't even be applied to other areas. You said what happens in one relationship cannot be applied to another. That's what you said last week. So
Okay.
his relationship with his son should not have a relationship with his professional career. You made that point.
His
Last
professional career is with God, and God is all
week, no,
encompassing.
it's not.
His
That's a
relationship
spiritual. It's him and God is spiritual. His
Exactly.
music is professional.
spiritual,
His music is professional.
but is directly tied into his spiritual.
Nick, you
His
contradicting
music
yourself.
cannot exist without the spiritual factor.
Y'all go listen to last week's episode where
Am-
Nick
am I wrong?
completely
Am I
contradicts
wrong?
himself.
Will we
You
know
got a
who
point,
Kirk
Nick.
Franklin?
You got
No,
a
he
point.
don't.
Will we
No, he
know
don't.
who Kirk
Because, like,
Franklin
it's
is
gospel is
if
a
it
spiritual-
wasn't for his
A spiritual
spiritual?
genre.
Bro,
Well,
but the point of
We
Christ
wouldn't
and
be talking about no
Christianity has
stomp.
nothing.
All my name
Christianity
say
is,
stomp. if
bro.
it
He
weren't for
was
God.
addicted to porn, bro. Christianity has nothing to do with perfection. That's your mistake. You're trying to make apples and oranges. There's
Oh,
no
God.
expectation for
We
no
ain't
one
talking
to be
about
perfect,
perfection. We're talking about striving for the perfection.
bro. We all sin. No sin is greater than
all sin,
another.
yes.
No sin is greater than another. So whether he cursed out his son or he ate too much, it's the
Hold up
same.
now. Hold up. Some
I
sins was
the
punishable
same.
by death and
like
some wasn't. I'ma just say that.
Jesus.
It is the same, bro. No sin is greater than another, bro. You clean or
Some-
unclean,
Some sins was punishable by death and some wasn't. I'm gonna throw that out there.
bro.
Yeah, that's
You
facts.
either unclean or you clean. I don't want to go back to this argument.
I'm gonna
But
get
you
off
either-
this. I'm gonna get off of this
you
call.
either
We say it's about that
unclean-
time, Dominique. About that time.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
You either unclean or you clean. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I wasn't.
And
there
we
for
all
that.
unclean.
Hey Nick, I'm looking forward to these comments on this subject, bro. Because this is
Look at the
I didn't
comments,
expect this
man.
conversation.
You didn't think I was gonna go there, did you?
I got worried, bro. We was up here the whole time.
I don't know if you being
skipped
skipped right now. You just saying some blasphemous stuff, or you really mean what you saying right now?
Bro.
I am dead serious.
It's
I hold people who decide to go into ministry at a higher regard. There's a bigger expectation from them.
Why?
From me. Because
why?
I got to take you seriously. If you
don't
out
even
here
take
and
yourself
if you're doing just like me, but then you're like, yeah, man, Jesus. I was like, but I just saw you at the strip club. What you doing?
So,
Like, how can I?
I'm done for the
He was
day.
there praying for the strippers.
I'm done for the
Hit
day.
the-
Y'all know my heart out
Trust
there
and
in
believe.
iPod land.
Bro, hit
He
the
had to put him-
outro.
he
Hit
had
the
to put his
outro
hands
song,
on
bro.
him.
Please,
Look,
Lord,
look,
don't let her cheeks clap too hard.
We're gonna leave Nick sitting in his righteousness.
Look, I'm striving to be more righteous, but I can't listen to you if I'm striving to be righteous.
Who asked
and
you to
up here
listen? He
not
never
being
asked you to
righteous.
listen to him. First off,
He
he
not
didn't
even a
ask
pastor,
you to
bro.
listen.
Hey,
He
Hey.
didn't ask you to
Hey.
subscribe to him. That's
Hey.
your choice,
if it was TD Jakes, what would you say?
bro.
Same
That
thing,
ain't-
bro.
I got my own walk with Christ.
I'm just asking. If TD Jakes was up here in
You don't think
Memphis,
he cussed his daughter out when she was 13 and got pregnant?
no idea.
You don't think he got upset and
No
said
idea.
something he would regret?
No idea. My father hasn't even cussed me out. Ever since he became a deacon of the church.
Congratulations. But there's a whole list of stuff he done
I'm pretty
did.
sure. I'm pretty sure your dad did some other stuff, bro.
Yeah, he probably
Enough.
did.
All right.
Ain't no
My
problem.
dad
I
smacked
know,
me, but hey,
know exactly what he did too, but I
Hey, we
won't
ain't
say
going
it.
to that.
my dad
personal
smacked me
stuff.
before. Shoot.
But all right,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
go
wrap
to
it up. We're
personal
gonna we're
business.
gonna leave it here, man. We got some crazy stuff going on the podcast. Y'all let us know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and leave a review. We will talk to you guys next week on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.